When I started in the industry, I was with Aveda, and I always wanted to be a hairdresser that was, like a Stephen Moody type, or Edward Ebel was the guy at Aveda that was my mentor, Oscar Bond, these suave type, gentlemanly, wearing suits and stuff. But obviously when you hear this voice, it changes the whole dynamic, and then there's the whole gay piece. And then this whole thing of branding yourself, I had to do that because in Aveda there was 200 of us, so I started doing updos. And I started doing Fashion Week, and I was one of the first people to do that. And then what happened was I kind of developed this reputation, and some people really responded to it and loved it because they said it was authentic and it was real, and other people were quite turned off by it. And this exponentially grew after I was on a reality show called Sheer Genius. And to get on the show, I had to develop somewhat of a character. Imagine Charlie Price as a Madonna video. Express yourself. That's kind of why I'm a hairdresser. I think these days, I love the fact that I can express myself in all different ways. That could be being a platform artist, it could be being an educator, it could be being a hairdresser behind the chair, doing photo shoots and all that stuff. But lately, expressing myself about what I think about the industry, about what I think it means to be a hairdresser. And a lot of people talk about helping other people. That's not necessarily why I became a hairdresser, but after 28 years in the industry, I find I have so many people asking me questions, and how did I do this? How did I do that? How can I help people do that and get them to express themselves? Because I think people forget to do that in our business so much. They're so bogged down by so many things that they're not expressing themselves. I was told a lot of things starting in the hair industry. I was told that I had too much attitude. Maybe my skills weren't good enough. Some people saw me as a lightweight. I lived in Denver, so I couldn't do Fashion Week. I was too gay. My sense of humor was too provocative or too vulgar. To this day, I had a major trade magazine editor tell me that no big companies would want to work with me because I'm too profane on social media. So what I think you should do is not listen to people. You should be inspired by people and know what's going on in the industry and learn from your mentors, but ultimately, don't let people tell you what you can or can't do. Because I did Naomi Campbell's hair, and I live in Denver at Fashion Week, so anything can happen. So just don't let people stop you. I think one of my best mentors was Ray Chiavello, who taught me that no matter what is going on, who you are, if you're excellent at what you do, and Horst for that matter taught me the same thing. If you love what you do and you're excellent at what you do, the rest will follow. And I think for most hairdressers, that's pretty cut and dried. When you're a platform artist and an educator and you're doing all these other things, there's all these tangents, and that can manifest in all kinds of different ways. Am I a good public speaker? Am I good at delivering sound bites? Am I good fodder for editorial, for trade magazines? The best career advice I got was from Horst, and he just said to us as educators, do what you love and the money will follow. And I learned so many things from Horst in so many ways about the environment and about being good at what I do and the scope of what a hairdresser can do, because he did so many things that are not really something that you would expect a hairdresser to do. He validated something in me, because I always thought, I don't want to be in middle management like my parents. I want to love my job. I want to get up every day and just be so happy that I do it. And if that whole old cliche of if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, it's absolutely true. And if you're not happy, fix it. If you're not loving what you do, stop doing it. But you have to love it, or else it doesn't make sense. And he just really always told us that. Make sure you love it. I owned a salon for 18 years. I do not anymore, but it defined me more than anything else. Me as the owner of that business, that was who Charlie Price was that salon. And so when I gave that up, it took me about 5 years to not be kind of depressed about it. Like, I had all these other things going on, like as a platform artist, as a runway stylist, all this other stuff, but I was like, I don't really exist anywhere. I think it's worth it to stick with it, but if you're going to stick with it, I think the most important thing you can do when things aren't going well is sit down and just think about, why am I doing this? What is it that I want out of this business? And then recommit to it. And then beyond that, I would say pay attention to details, educate yourself, and Also realize that you're not responsible for everybody's problems and you're not responsible for everybody's success just because you own that salon. You do have to support them and you have to nurture them and you have to care about them, but you also can't take on all the pain of everybody that works for you. Hang in there, it will get better, but only if you commit to it or recommit, as the case may be. One project that I'm so excited about is the Southwest Hairstyling Awards. I worked with 303 Magazine for many, many years, and we had a hair show that we started, and it was just kind of a jam session of salons. And it's like blossomed into this huge 4-night thing, Denver Fashion Weekend. And what I found is that there is room for that regional level before you go to the granddaddy. I didn't realize, number one, how many people didn't know about the awards that are out there that you can enter, the competitions, and also how scared they were if they did know about it. So what we offer in the Southwest Hairstyling Awards is a way for people to get their feet wet. It was so successful that we've branched into the Northwest Hairstyling Awards that I do with Lisa Van up there. We've had the support of all the famous, iconic hairdressers being judges for us. And the great part about this is we're aligned with PBA and NAHA. You know, NAHA has given so much to me and so much to so many people involved in this project that the last thing that we want to do is confuse or alienate. So we're kind of like sister organizations, which I think is a huge, I don't know, it's a love fest. I love it because PBA has always been really good to me. In addition to NAHA, just as a platform artist, they were the first people that ever hired me as an independent. So I want to keep the fire burning.